What's up, everybody? I'm Andre Cacciatore here with my good friend Ricky Doyle. How are you, Ricky Doobs? Hey, big news in the UFC, man. Jon Jones, UFC 214 light heavyweight champion right there. He gets stripped of his belt Tuesday night after another positive steroid test. What are your initial thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, I just don't know how any human being on the face of the earth could be this stupid. If this indeed is, if this is accurate, if you know,
as far as we know, it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think his camp released a statement saying, you know, we're gonna get to the bottom of this, and it's just a very weird statement. But yeah, I mean, if this turns out that he is gaming the system, cheating the system here again, certainly it just raises red flags, raises eyebrows as to what exactly is this guy's deal. And it's just for the people that believed him and, you know, kind of like thought maybe he was on a better path now, on the straight now. It's disappointing. I mean, I didn't really believe him, but
you know, at UFC 200 when myself and our good coworker Mikhailo Vernava went there. And that's when Jones got caught the first time, 3 days before the fight, and he was given a press conference, and he had a bunch of tears in his eyes during the press conference. And I remember turning to Mikhailo and saying, listen, I don't believe any of those tears. He was in the back room slicing up those onions and then fumigating those eyes, and there's a bunch of tears coming. I didn't believe him then. He came back, and I kind of started believing in him. And after the way he performed and things he said after the fight to Cormier, I'm like, maybe this guy has changed. He said some nice words to Cormier, but then, boom. Yeah, he gets hit with steroids.
He looked like he's a great actor. If this, that's the case,
maybe that's his next gig.
Because he looked good. He was saying all the right things. He seemed pretty genuine about the whole thing. But then, like, this comes out, and I kind of go back to just not putting too much stock into what professional athletes or just celebrities in general really say. Like, I take everything with a grain of salt because you never know what the truth is. I mean, you peel back some layers, and there could be some weird things in those closets, and I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait until more information comes out about this. I am anxious to see what exactly, it seems like his camp isn't really on the same page as him, so I don't know.
I mean, there's good due process in the USADA steroid testing process, but looks like maybe Daniel Cormier might get his belt back.
I was going to say, imagine being him in this situation where, so now if you get it back for a second time, it's just like, what are we doing here?
I feel bad for the guy because
and that division sucks. That's another thing. It's like, where does it go from here? If you're Cormier and you get the belt back, then, you know, who's the next man in line? And really, that division's going to be terrible.
Volkan Ozdemir, Turkish sensation. Or there's also Alexander Gustafsson.
Needs somebody to come up through the ranks here,
because I just feel bad for the guy because he'll have the belt, but he'll always know that he never beat Jon Jones, even if Jones cheated. So
Jones ain't gonna get back into the octagon for a long time if he does too. You think this spells the end of him, or?
No, he'll be back. But
I mean, he's young enough to give it another go once the suspension's up and everything. But to expect him to fight Cormier again, I think it's pretty unrealistic.
Cormier will be way too old.
He'll be in his early 40s.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, maybe we haven't seen the last of Jon Jones, but even when he comes back, if you're Dana White, you're not going to throw him in the main event picture. I wouldn't imagine.
And everybody's just going to be skeptical.
And that's another thing, is that Dana White initially didn't want to put him in the main event because of a reason like this, because obviously there was a lack of trust there from the biggest guy in the company. Right. So if he didn't trust him, he probably should have stuck to his guns in that whole thing. Why should we trust him? And now we just look like we got egg on our face.
And it just stinks for the UFC too. Ronda Rousey's MIA, Conor McGregor's picking boxing fights right now.
Yeah.
And they're kind of hoping for Jon Jones to be the face of the sport. And now he's gone for at least 2 years, let's say, maybe 4 years. Who's the face of the sport now?
Not going to see that Jon Jones Brock Lesnar showdown unless they take it to WWE, and I'm not quite sure what their wellness policy is, but I would imagine he's got some hoops he's probably going to jump through there too. So I don't know.
Yeah, well,
not a good time to be John Bones Jones.
It's not, but it is a good time to be Ricky Doyle. He will probably be writing a lot about this on Nesson.com, so keep it up on Nesson.com for all your UFC coverage.